All right, so I guess we're getting ready to move into the candidate forum section. Our next presenter is candidate is Erica Reddick.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, NPA, for having us this evening. My name is Erica Reddick. I am a resident here in the new north end of Burlington. And God, so much was said tonight that I want to respond to, and I'm going to have to, now I definitely am going to fill 5 minutes. First of all, I just want to say, we all want everyone to be happy and healthy and safe and really have an opportunity for their own personal version of the American dream. And it is my experience that the best way that we can ensure that everyone has that opportunity is to remove any barriers to entrepreneurship, small business ownership, and home ownership. And the biggest barriers that we face here in Vermont are high taxes and high regulation. So we want to be loving and kind, and we want to pay for all of this stuff for the less fortunate. All of us want that. Nobody disagrees. But when you tax the lower and middle class to the point where they leave because they can't afford to take care of their children and survive, when they can't start their own business, when they can't buy a home, they leave. So what we really need to be doing is encouraging more economic growth here, lower taxes, lower regulations, so that somebody can build an apartment complex with 10 units and not have to pay hundreds, literally, this is not a joke, this is actual, hundreds of thousands of dollars in fees before an architectural drawing is done or a shovel is put in the ground for Act 250 environmental things. We are making ourselves poor here in Vermont by these overreaching legislations that keep getting passed. We keep saying we care about the little guy, but we show that we don't when we make it harder and harder to live in Vermont. It's one of the reasons why I will be pushing to remove the income tax on Social Security for seniors. The fact that we tax Social Security on our seniors, I think, is unconscionable. And that's why they leave. We need these people to stay here and to encourage us. So we need to make it as easy as possible. I should have been timing myself, Jeff, because now I don't know how long I have to go, but
2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes. Okay. As far as the protesters in Battery Park, I've seen a lot of signs around the city that say things like, this little state says no to hate. This brave little state says no to hate. And yet what we have seen is a rise in hatred, not against people of color, but against police officers, against Christians, against conservatives. So my neighbor can have his Joe Biden sign on his yard and be fine, but if you have a Trump sign, you're going to get vandalized. So I think that's really a problem because there is a lot of hate to go around, and people in Chittenden County are incredibly prejudiced against people who do not accept or go along with the progressive ideas. And that's really, really shameful. But most importantly, I just want to say, as a resident of Burlington, because I'm not just a Senate candidate, I live here. And this idea that any one of you could sit there and say that Vermonters and Burlington residents are all just a bunch of racists, and it's your duty to fix us, I think is so insulting that I can't even believe that anybody listens to that. Like, you want us to vote for you, and yet you insult us and say that we're terrible people. And I would ask for any of you that are in support of the protesters at Battery Park, if you can differentiate for me, all cops are B words, kill cops, die pigs, and things like that. If you can differentiate that hate from, I don't like Black people, or I'm prejudiced against people of color, or whatever. I hate Black people, let's say. Let's say we are a bunch of racists. Does saying kill cops make that better? What does that fix? That's my question for that. If the protesters can start to differentiate their message from the hate that they purport to be protesting against, I will go down there and I'll protest with them. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
And you're incredibly good on timing. You're just done. Thank you.
Thank you.